Hi, I'm Ashley,
Hi, I'm Beth.
and we are Shelf Care. Today we're going to be doing It Ends With Us. This is the Spanish version, but It Ends With Us. We're going to be talking about the movie and the book. So if you haven't seen the movie, come back and check this video out after. But before we dive into that,
We're going to be talking about what we're going to do next week, which we're going to go over the book This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune.
yes.
Super
Okay.
exciting last summer read.
I know I'm like almost done. I really like it.
All right.
Okay. So before we dive into like all this plots, let's do the characters.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the differences, and we'll also like see if we think that they were casted correctly.
Okay.
So my first character is Atlas, which honestly, reading the book, I was not an Atlas girl. I kind of like imagined him kind of a bit more like, I don't know, like homelessy, I guess.
Rugged.
Rugged. Just because like that's kind of how the book made him sound, and like in the movie it's like, whoa, like I don't know, I think he was really good casted in my
Yeah.
opinion, and I think it boosted him up for me.
I feel like young Atlas, while he was casted well,
Yeah, I did not like young Atlas.
I didn't like it. Well, okay. So in my head, I was attracted to Atlas in the book the whole time. And in the movie, I mean, he's just very teenage, homeless,
Yeah.
And so I think they casted him well. But obviously, as a 26-year-old woman, I was like, which probably good.
I feel like him and like grown up Atlas didn't look that much
No.
alike. That was my only thing that I was like, I
The
feel like
jaw.
they did not look that much alike. And his hair was darker when he was
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, which sometimes happens, I
The
guess.
hairline was weird
17,
too.
I don't know. But yes, I think they casted adult Atlas perfect.
I thought his voice. He's a very good actor. I want to see him in more movies.
Get Out of My Restaurant.
Yeah.
Stuck with me.
Yeah. There was one line when we were watching it that I turned and remember, and like I knew the words.
Yes.
And we were like, ah!
I know.
That was funny.
That was what was that?
I don't know, but I knew the words for some reason.
We'll think about it because it was straight from the book. It was good.
Okay.
All right, Lily Bloom. So Blake Lively, I think she was good. I think that they casted her well. I don't know. I feel like her character was good and young Lily was good because they looked the same. The hair for me was a little bit different because you could tell it wasn't natural red. And that was kind of hard. And I know it's hard to find a natural redheaded actress that also, works with the role. But that was just my thing. And that's kind of a small thing, I feel like.
I don't know. I honestly didn't really like Blake Lively doing Lily, just because I feel like she kind of changed the character from the book completely.
Yeah.
Like that is not like, and I think she kind of acted as herself. Like, and I just didn't like it. Like
too confident,
too flirty. Like none of this was Lily in the book. And I don't know. I was just not a fan.
Became more confident as the book went on.
Yeah. But like she wasn't like from the start like this and this.
Like on the rooftop she was awkward in her head.
And they changed that scene completely, because whenever I reread the book and I read that scene, I was like, well, I don't even remember like them like making out and like getting pretty, into it. And there were several things like whenever I would say Lily in the movie, like she was like laughing and making fun of him being a surgeon, which she didn't do in the book, and like questioning it, and like I don't know, there was just a bunch of things that I was just like,
it was just Blake made her too confident.
Yeah, that and her fashion. And I did read that they didn't have a high budget, so she used her own clothing.
Oh, she did?
That's what I read, and I don't know if it's true. But if it is, it makes sense. Yeah. But at the same time, I didn't like it.
It said she was eccentric.
But not like...
So I think that you have to be super confident to wear those type of clothes.
And she was not.
So it goes back to the fact that she just wasn't confident. And, well, I guess we'll get into the plot later. We're still on characters. But that was my biggest thing. I just wasn't sure about.
Even one of the outfits, Like, I remember just kind of looked at each other and we were like, it was like that really like gold dress that she
Yes.
wore, and then she had like this like work jacket on top of
Carhartt.
it, and I was like,
Yeah, it was that Carhartt jacket made appearances throughout the entire movie with everything.
I swear, like my boyfriend has one of those
Yeah, and
jackets.
you're like,
I was like,
no.
no, I don't know. I moving on because
But
I could
yeah,
go on and on about Lily. Alyssa,
she was old.
she looked
Like, no hate to the
extremely
actress, but
old,
she just looked older than everybody else.
and I feel like they changed her character up a lot because
Yeah.
one, she did not hate flowers. She
Mhm.
never hated flowers. They created that whole little scenario thing
Mhm.
because, you know, that did not happen. And I feel like she was just very bright and bubbly, and that
Yeah.
was not the character that we got in the
Yeah.
movie.
We definitely got preppy,
Yeah.
which she was. But I don't know. You just didn't get the bubbly, super nice, super supportive.
I don't know. And like, even she was very fashionable in the book, but like reading some of those scenes, like, she wasn't like oh, I need to, like, one of the scenes in the movie was like, oh, clean this for my bag. Like, she wasn't like that.
Yeah,
she like didn't care if she got her fashion dirty, which I feel like kind of spoke to her character a lot.
I think
So,
And then
yeah,
moving from Alyssa to Marshall. I hated his character.
I hated his
He
character.
was not supposed to
He was kind of
be-
annoying.
Yeah, he was obnoxious. Well, he was just kind of a side character.
Yeah,
And
he was a really big part in the book.
in the book. Yeah, in the book, he's this huge jock. I mean, he's not a jock, but like big,
Yeah.
big guy, jock. You wouldn't expect him to be a software genius. And so
We saw this skinny little dude.
and we didn't really see his relationship with Ryle, and that was upsetting to me.
Yeah, or even with Lily, because I feel like they had some good scenes where he was there for her. He was kind of like there for everybody, and we didn't even see his romance with his wife. Like, all we saw was basically like him just always making like jokes about sex or stuff like that.
And they never talked about their infertility issues, about how they
Yeah.
tried to have a baby, and
For
that's why
years.
she ended up working in the flower shop because she needed something to do to get out of the house.
Or even, which I remember, do you remember that Marshall had cheated on her before?
No, Alyssa cheated on Marshall.
Oh, Alyssa cheated on Marshall. Okay.
Which, was that the second book? That
No.
may be the second book.
Oh, that might, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was close. It was either the end of the first book or the beginning of the second book. But yeah, I mean, you just didn't see that. And so when she told us that they were pregnant, I mean, oh yay, but like,
it wasn't like, the movie didn't make me feel much
towards them.
Yeah.
Lucy, the roommate, was not involved.
Yeah, which she
They
wasn't
left her
that
out.
big of a character in the book, so I guess it's fine. But we didn't see any of Lily's apartment at all.
Yeah, it was all Ryle's.
Yeah, all Ryle, and I was like, I feel like she had some pretty good scenes in her apartment.
Yeah, I do too. And the last, but not least, Ryle.
Ryle.
I think Justin Baldoni did a good job. I think he took it really seriously. Some of the interviews that he did about domestic violence and stuff was pretty good.
I really liked all his press and stuff.
Yeah. I just didn't picture Ryle as him.
Did I imagine him as Ryle? No. Yeah. But I think he did a good job, and I wouldn't bash him about it. Yeah.
I don't think so at all.
I think that's the one character that I'd be like, okay, you know.
Yeah, that was the one in the beginning I was like, I didn't picture him like that, but then when the movie was over, I was like, oh,
yeah. And I think he was a pretty good actor too. I think he was pretty good.
I think he did good.
But wait, what about her dad?
Oh, Owen Hunt.
Owen Hunt. I was like, that is crazy. I honestly, because like when the movie first started, and you see like the picture and it's like the funeral, I was like, that kind of looks like Owen. And like you see the throwback scenes, and I was like, that's Owen. I was like, that's crazy. That's like the last person I would imagine.
That was wild.
I feel, honestly, thinking about it, her parents look nothing like Lily.
No.
Where'd she get her hair from?
Yeah, both dark-headed. Well, I guess technically
he was blonde.
Yeah, he's
orange.
Like strawberry blondish. I don't know.
I wish that her mom I don't remember in the book if it says if she looks like her mom, but I wish that in the movie they would have looked more like each other.
All that it says in the book is that her mom thinks that they look alike and they have the same mouth. That is like the scene in the book where it talks about that, but I don't think her mom looked anything.
Yeah, no, they didn't. I feel like they didn't have much chemistry either in the movie.
Like they didn't. I don't know. It was forced, but they also the mom wasn't. She was very much a side character.
Very much, and I feel like she is honestly the whole reason that the book kind of exists.
Yes.
So, especially because of Colleen, and that's the whole reason that she wrote it was because she saw her mom going through this. So I feel like she should have been a bigger character in the movie.
I agree.
And they kind of really pushed her aside, and I feel like if it was more talked about and more brought up, I think it would have been more emotional.
Yeah. And I know they couldn't put every scene in the movie, obviously.
But I think they could have picked better.
But I do as well. I think they could have picked better. So going into plot and questions, what was your biggest thing that you feel like the movie missed?
There's several, but I feel like for me, it was just because like from reading the book, I was a big like Ryle girl, only because not that I'm toxic, but because like I just have this thing about like people changing, and like in the book, like I fell in love with him at the first half. So like first time reading it and like reading the shocking parts of like the violence happening, I was in shock. I was like, no way. Like when it happened the first time, I was like, okay, that was an accident. And then it happened again, and I was like, wait, what? You know, so like the book makes you fall in love, and then it like gives you this crazy plot twist. So
and that's the point.
That was the point of the book. And so in the movie, like not having that was kind of a huge miss, and that's why I didn't feel as bad towards Ryle during the scenes. And so that's why I was just like, I became an Atlas girl because of the movie. But like rereading that book, like you fall in love with him, and you see like all the sweet stuff he does, like everything, you know, like how he helps like in the surgery and stuff, and he's just such a big character, and they didn't do him as good.
I don't think so either. They didn't give him the depth that they gave Atlas.
Which is crazy because you don't see Atlas until like mid book.
Yes.
So that was and I feel like that's another reason. I feel like Blake was trying to push more of the romance side, but like that's not what the book is about.
Yeah, I feel like
because they don't get together like at all
in the book. Yeah, that is correct.
Like they
do not get together.
They don't have like any like oh hi, I'm falling in love with you again like at all. And they had several scenes in the movie where it's just like all hard eyes, but I'm like Lily was really torn. Like she was not thinking of a partner in him. Like that was just like a friend that was helping her. And
absolutely,
she was totally in love with Rao, and you didn't see that in the book. No. Like Lily in the book, I mean, Lily in the movie was like not 100% on Ryle. Like she was always like, even one part where in the movie, Ryle asked, "Are you in love with him?" And she said, "I don't know." And I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because she
did not completely loyal to Ryle in the book, and I don't think that they spent enough time on the chemistry between Lily and Ryle, and they really cheated him out of his good scenes, like when he went to find her in her apartment building and knocked on 29 doors, something like that.
Yeah, something like 20, 30 doors until
to kiss her, and then ended up falling asleep in her bed. I mean, there were so many
things like. Because she went to go like take a shower before like they did anything, and he was just like knocked on the bed, and all they did was like cuddle, and it was just like all these things of them like falling in love and growing.
And I feel like in the movie they went super fast.
They skipped over that completely.
They did not go super fast in the book, which is why I feel like we fell in love with him. Which again is why
the point
of the book. Because you don't see it coming, and I feel like they just glossed over the domestic violence in this movie. And so
it wasn't, I think again, I've seen that in the press just because Justin has really been pushing that in all, if you see all the edits with Blake and doing press or whatever, they're all laughing and stuff. Domestic violence is never brought up and stuff like that. So it just kind of makes me think. And I've heard, and I saw a different interview, which they were asking Justin, like, when are you going to do it? When is the second one? And he was like, oh, I don't know if I'll be, directing or this and that. And they're like, what, why? And he's like, well, I think Blake's ready to direct.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of like.
And obviously there's rumors of, like,
them having bad blood.
Bad blood between the two. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. But I do feel like two different sides of the story
are portrayed
here. Yeah. And I feel like Justin really wanted to focus on domestic violence and Blake didn't. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That was a big plot hole that I didn't love. Oh, and another thing is they didn't talk about how Alyssa named her baby Riley.
And that was a big piece.
And
yeah.
There's no such thing as bad people. We're all just people who sometimes do bad things, is what Ryle said. And then Alyssa named her baby Riley.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that went together
very well. Super well. Colleen made a really good book, and she tied things up pretty well. And I feel like if they had put her stuff in the movie and kept it true, like I feel like everybody would have been happier.
Yeah.
But what about, did you like when Colleen was at the party?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I love that she made an appearance.
I thought that was cute. I wish she would have been a character.
Yeah, that was good.
They should have made her the mom.
But can she act? Well, I guess the mom didn't really have very many scenes that she could have.
She low-key could have, and I feel like her and Blake look more alike.
Yeah, because they're blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, the mom, so her mom never moved to Boston.
That was a big part in the book.
I didn't love that.
And I didn't love how, weird she talked about her mom, because yes, Lily kind of had a strange relationship with her mom in the book, but, it wasn't because she was, weird or judgmental. It was just because, she kind of, didn't like that she put herself through all the trauma with her dad.
Well, and then I don't know. So there was a point in the book, or in the movie, where they do bring up where Lily and her mom talk about, why did you stay with Dad so long? And she said, it was easier to stay than to leave, and I loved him. And so I feel like again, the less chemistry with Ryle, not enough, love for Ryle, it didn't have that similarity.
It didn't, it wasn't hard for her to leave. Yeah.
And in the book, it was super hard.
And talking about, the SA, I feel like they, changed it a lot, and I feel like they didn't show the full extent, and I don't know if that's because they wanted to keep it PG-13, but I feel like the book is not PG-13. No. Especially even with, the first trauma that happened when he's taking the food out of the oven, it didn't happen like it happened in the movie. No. He took it out of the oven, burned his hands, and she was laughing. She didn't get hit.
Had too much wine.
Yeah, they were kind of tipsy, and she was laughing at him because, he did that, and he got mad and then went at her. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that scene in the book, she tells him, I think she's already told him about her dad, or maybe she told him in that scene, I can't remember. But she told him, she said, if you ever touch me again like that, we are over.
Mm-hmm.
And he cries and he apologizes.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like that was a huge missed opportunity.
And even with the second one, when she falls down the stairs, she was pushed and she broke her leg.
She didn't break her leg.
She sprained her ankle.
No, she sprained her ankle at the flower shop. She just got
concussed,
kind of.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Which, that's the other thing.
Yeah, she didn't fall.
She never fell at the flower shop. Yeah. She never sprained her ankle, and that's when she saw Ryle again. Is he came in? Alyssa said, "My brother's a doctor. I'm gonna call him," and they just didn't set that up the same way.
Yeah.
So I didn't love that. And then they went bowling.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
That was so my thing is, I know you can't put every scene from the book,
but don't add. Don't add things that didn't happen.
I love that. A lot more jokes. Yeah, we definitely kind of went over that.
Mhm. And then a big thing that I feel like was not in the book or was not in the movie were the diaries.
Yes.
And like that's how he found out about Alice.
Mhm.
Atlas, like reading all her old diaries and then her having the Boston
Better in
magnet
Boston.
and
Oh, and the restaurant's name was Bibbs.
yeah, and they
Better in
changed that.
Boston. They changed it to Root.
I
Um,
liked I liked Root, but I feel like they just changed too
they
many
changed
things
too much.
there.
They did.
And I did like she did have a tattoo on her,
But they
but it
never
wasn't like a
talked
root.
about. They never talked about why the tattoo was there because that tattoo was there because he used to kiss her shoulder.
Yeah, and it wasn't because like of the tree.
Yeah, and they never showed the scene where Atlas got sick the winter.
Yeah, that was big.
They didn't really. They never. He never left.
Yeah.
He talked about going to Boston, but he never left, and then came back because that's when her dad attacked him. Is when he came back for her birthday. Gave her
Yeah,
that
yeah.
magnet. They obviously,
Yeah.
and then her dad found him in bed, and that's when he attacked him.
Mhm.
And so that was just different. I don't know. And I just feel like I know Ellen DeGeneres is very blacklisted, and they didn't want to bring her up.
Yeah.
They only had one little scene of her writing in the diaries that said "Dear Ellen." So I think the diaries they were like a massive part of the book.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't have to bring up Ellen, but just like maybe not even show her name, but like show the diary part and like him reading the book.
Just the
You
diaries
know?
in general, yeah. I feel like
That's
we could have
how
talked about
yeah.
her diaries.
Because in the movie it just kind of seemed like he was psycho and he just freaked because she saw somebody that she used to know.
Yeah. Oh well, it seems like he read what they wrote about them being the top 10 or
The
whatever.
column, which like you can't really take too much out of that column.
I feel like it was a reach.
Yeah.
So it made him just seem crazy
Yeah.
instead of like having a factual. And then it didn't make sense. Well, I guess they did say the carp wooden heart and then the heart on
Yeah.
top.
I
So
mean that part was like okay.
that was okay.
Yeah. But I just feel like if they had taken more time with us falling in love with Ra, like the people who have gone through those traumas could relate maybe a bit more, other than
Yeah. They didn't. Lily never told Atlas Emmy's middle name at the end.
What was it, Dora? Dory.
And they never talked about how they watched Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And then he didn't say just keep swimming, which I get why those things didn't happen.
That part was a bit really cringy. The just keep swimming part, like yes. Towards the end, but like it's still part of the book. Yeah.
So I feel like overall, if you didn't read the book, the movie's a good romance.
You're gonna like it, but
if you read the book,
you're just gonna kind of nitpick it, and I feel like that's with any movie and book. But this one just kind of, I don't know. I thought I really liked it, but I obviously like the book more.
Yeah.
It made me feel more. So
I think that was my thing. The movie did not make me feel.
Yeah.
But I did love it, and like at the end of the movie, I was happy that we watched it. But yeah. So
would I watch it again? Probably not.
It would be a while before I watched it. So should we rate it 1 to 5?
Okay.
So let's talk about the book. Let's do the book rating first. What did you rate the book?
When I read it was a 5.
When I read it was a 5 as well.
I think for me, even if I did reread it, I think it would still be a 5, just because like the emotions that it gave me and stuff. Obviously, I wouldn't have the surprise and stuff with the violence, but I think I would still rate it a 5.
Yeah. I definitely rated it a 5 too. So the movie,
I think a 3 overall. Like it's barely like minimum for me, just because they changed too much for me personally.
I'll give it a 3.5, because I loved Alice.
I did too, and
I think they picked a really good person for Alice.
And I think if they do the second one, like I think that one I would rate higher, just because it's more romance than it is like anything. and I think that they would make a good movie for that. But just because I wanted this one to focus more on what the book is supposed to be about, not on romance.
I mean, there's literally an author's note at the back of the book talking about
Yeah.
domestic violence and why she wrote this book and why. I mean, just basically everything that she did. And
Yeah.
she was like, it's why people stay. I mean, just the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that is not what the movie portrayed. They wanted to sell tickets,
I think so too. But we'll see. Hopefully they make another one.
I know. But we'll see y'all next week for our last summer romance. And then we'll go on to some fall stuff.
I know. All right. Bye.
Bye.